Good morning, mail-in, crew, gang, listeners, fans, far and wide. Good morning, Sally, my lovely co-host to my right. I am your host, Brett Merriman. What's going on, Sal? How have things changed in your past week since we've done this podcast?
They haven't at all, but you seem a
Nice.
little rattled this morning. Came in a little hot. Are you like
I came in
nursing an
hot.
injury?
Yeah, I'm nursing a pulled quad from last night.
I feel like you'll have to start stretching.
Yeah, I mean, we absolutely do. I was more concerned about the arm, to be honest with you. So I did a lot of arm stretching, not a lot of leg stretching. So I could feel it getting tight, and then hit a long fly ball that no big deal resulted in a home run. Running the bases at full sprint for the first time in a minute.
So this wasn't an out of park home run.
No.
This was an
This was an inside the park home run.
inside the park home run,
But
based on you sprinting the bases.
Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
I rounded second, and right when I rounded second, there's no pop, there's no like aggressive movement. But I felt the tightness turn from tight to like pain tight.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh yeah, that'll do it.
Maybe
So
y'all need to do some like team yoga.
that has been suggested by multiple members of the team. After the last 2 weeks, we have now lost 3 people to injury.
Yeah.
Two of Randy's quads and one of my quads. I did play though.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a debilitating injury. I feel okay. I'm walking around. Hockey tomorrow is very much in question. I also played hockey yesterday morning, which I don't think helped my case to play like an hour and a half of hockey, sit at my desk for 8 hours and then go play softball. I don't think that helped without stretching a lot. So
Stretching is like flossing. No one wants to do it, but you like have to do it.
I know, and usually I'm pretty good about it. I do a lot of yoga, so I don't know. One of those things that just I gotta be better.
Do you floss your teeth?
I gotta be better. No, I do the picked things though sometimes, not often.
I had a very long conversation with my friend Nick. Shouts
Mhm.
to Nick, who's a dentist. If you're looking for a dentist in Austin, DM me. I'll send you his info.
Honestly, I am. So
I will send you his info.
cool.
About flossing.
Yeah.
And we both for work, obviously he's a dentist, but we both are in people's mouths for work. And I made the argument. I was like, well, when people go to the dentist, at least they've like brushed their teeth multiple times, maybe even flossed twice, like the week leading up to it, like
Mhm.
knowing that they're going to see you. When I see people and them in their mouth, they're like getting surgery. Very few people like think like, oh, this person's face is going to be like
In your
right
grill.
in my mouth.
Mhm.
I should do something about my teeth. So I was arguing that I see worse stuff.
Ah, okay.
And he made the argument back. He was like, Sally, you're a normal person. So you floss twice before you go to the dentist.
Right.
Most people don't.
Most people just come in hot. They're like, "What do you got, doc?"
And so I said, like, what's the worst thing? He's like, when we like pull a popcorn kernel out of someone's gums and they were like, oh, I had popcorn like 2 months ago.
Oh, no, that happens.
Yeah.
That would just like I would feel uncomfortable.
Right. So you've got to floss because think about the shit that's sitting in between your teeth,
know.
like steak, that you're just like attracting bacteria to.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's really gross, you guys. You got to floss. And I don't
Floss
want to
your
like
teeth.
get on a high horse. It's only because I flossed this morning for the first time in 2 weeks. Blood everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's a crime
Just
scene.
like bam, blood.
Absolute crime scene. It is a satisfying feeling though, like doing the picked thing where you just kind of get like there's like the halfway in and there's like pop down into the gum.
No, mine is like extra waxed floss, so it just glides right in.
That's nice. Yeah, mine doesn't.
Apparently, it's supposed to be flossing Fritz's teeth.
Really?
They say as soon as the kid's teeth touch, you're supposed to floss them. I was like,
I mean, I guess that makes sense, but
he barely will like let me brush his teeth. We have to like stick a whole thing of like bubblegum toothpaste on his tongue to even like let him open his mouth. Like he ain't gonna let me floss.
We're not flossing yet.
That would be. We would have to like fully like wrestle him to the ground.
I wonder what the first time or the first dentist appointment where my dentist said you probably should get flossing. I was probably 12. I don't know. I also haven't been in the dentist in a while. I got to go back.
Yeah.
My dentist and my pediatrician retired, like, before I could have stopped going to them. We were like, "Well, I guess we'll find another one
So
later."
you haven't been to the dentist since you've also been to the
No,
pediatrician?
no, no. I haven't been
So
to
I
the
was gonna be
dentist
like, that
probably
was pre-18-year-old to Brett,
yeah, probably 4 years on the dentist thing. So,
which means really like 7.
25. So that's 4 years.
Okay.
And it was a dentist in Saratoga.
People, you gotta take care of your teeth.
Got it, your teeth or
You
your
get
health,
one
right, or
set
something like that?
unless you get Love Island type veneers.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to get multiple sets in Thailand.
Wow.
That's
You
where
don't
they go.
want
They go
that.
to Thailand.
To get the veneers?
For some reason, like a lot of them go to Thailand to get veneers.
Is it, like, cheaper? Is
I
that
don't
kind of
know. I
okay.
think they like make a beach trip out of it.
It's like we're gonna go to Bali after Thailand with our new veneers
And
that
then like they get veneers, but they get like so many veneers that like every tooth is a veneer. It looks like their whole mouth is made
oh
out of
gosh.
chiclets. And they smile and they're
Yeah.
like glow in the dark, and it's just so many teeth.
And they're like every tooth is the same exact, like,
Yeah, they're
length.
just like
I
a
just
bunch of
don't
white
something about
squares. It's
that.
like very look up Luca Bish.
Off-putting. Luca Bish?
Bish. Teeth.
Okay. Luca Bish. Yeah, no.
While you're listening to this podcast, Google Luca Bish teeth.
Obviously, they, like, are white and perfect. I almost don't like, that looks unnatural. It doesn't look it just looks weird to me.
Yeah, it's
They're
terrifying.
every single tooth is the same exact thing across the line. Yeah, it's too white. I don't know.
And like too straight.
Correct, yeah, too white and too
And
straight.
too many teeth. Too
I'm
much
looking
teeth.
I have a before and after of Luca Bish's teeth right here.
Mm,
Interesting. Okay.
okay.
Good radio right here.
Yeah.
We are the Mail-In Podcast. Please tell a friend about the show. Send some clips around. We're doing more reels. Shouts to Adam and Lauren. Subscribe on iTunes. Follow on Spotify. Hit the hotline number to leave a voicemail. 888-362-MAIL. That is 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Hit up the store, watchmedia.shop, and hit up the YouTube to see our faces in 4K or something like that. YouTube.com/Mail-In Podcast. Sally, are you ready to get going?
Yes, let's go.
I'll go first. Here we go. What is the best way to break up with my cleaning lady? We've been using her for about a year and a half, and the quality of her cleaning has been subpar the entire time. Anytime we communicate expectations or issues, she automatically gets defensive and says things like, I definitely cleaned that, but we'll double check next time. Excuses, tale as old as time right there. I've said that many a time.
Yeah.
And it might be good the next time, but the quality will go downhill shortly after. We've given plenty of second chances, but it's just not working out. So here's some extra context. We aren't trying to sound pretentious, and we definitely are not super wealthy. She is the very first cleaning lady we've ever used. My wife and I work full time and have a toddler, so it helps give us some time back in the week. She cleans every other week and is usually in and out of the house between 45 minutes to an hour. Her two daughters help her. She only cleans some of the common areas, such as the kitchen, living room, bathrooms, etc. And we've instructed her to avoid bedrooms because I continue to clean those personally to save money. How are we breaking up with it could be cleaning ladies, it could be personal chef, it could be any personal employee, a nanny maybe.
A personal chef.
I don't know.
I actually was talking to somebody at work about this recently, about them wanting to fire their cleaning lady.
Interesting.
It's not personal. I know. I think this person has like a maybe kind of a guilt complex because they have a cleaning lady, because that like automatically implies that they're like maybe a little more upper middle class and they have like white people problems to complain about their cleaning lady.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, you're hiring someone for a job and you are expecting that person to do the job. So in the same sense of like, we had to fire a dog sitter one time because
There you go. They
we
weren't
came
sitting
home.
your dog.
Well, she locked herself out of our apartment, but then we came home and she clearly hadn't been home in like 16 hours. And Rosie had like been in her crate, peed on herself, etc.
Oh gosh.
So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's a great person. And
Mhm.
like, I feel stupid needing to fire a dog sitter,
Mhm.
but like she's taking care of something I love. You got to go.
Yeah.
And for a cleaning person, it's like the bigger deal, especially is like you need to let her know because then they need to be able to fill. Usually cleaning people have like the same slot every few weeks, so they need to fill your slot.
Yeah.
But it's not worth anytime you employ anyone, whether it's at work or it's somebody who's working for you personally, it's not worth keeping them around if you've continued to give them chances and improve, and then they are not doing that thing.
Let me ask you this. Say they work for like a not work for, but say they have like a care.com profile or sort of like like whatever cleaning.com
Yeah.
profile. Do you fire them and then go leave like a bad review or like rate them 1 star, or do you let the firing sort of be the intrinsic motivation for them to be better at their next job and like kind of
I would
just
say
don't give them a review?
just fire them unless somebody like contacts you for a
Mhm.
reference.
Okay. That's yeah, you don't like refer them to a friend and
Right.
yeah.
Um, because you're not trying to like unless something just absolutely egregious happens, like they stole your wife's wedding ring or something, and then you have to get the
Yeah,
police
yikes.
involved. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like if they're a part of this is like and I was literally telling my coworker this. I was like, part of it is like a mesh vibing problem. Like we have a cleaning lady. She comes every 2 weeks. Love her. She like is very responsive to us. I'm always like, "Hey, don't worry about, Fritz's room today because he's snapping. Just leave it. It's totally
Mhm.
fine." We pay
Okay.
her the same regardless. But I'm like, it's or we changed the sheets last night, so don't even do that this time because normally she cleans and she changes our sheets.
Got it.
Like I don't have her do any laundry or anything like that.
Mhm.
Although that would be tight. Um,
Would be tight.
but she doesn't have the time for that. So those expectations were set out clearly. And it's not like we just get along well. Sometimes, and I'm not saying that this person is in the wrong, but sometimes you just like get along and feel more comfortable telling someone something, especially if you tell someone like, "Hey, I like we noticed some mold in the shower. Do you mind like deep cleaning that next time?" And then they're like, "No, no, no, I cleaned the shower." Then you feel like you can't trust them anymore because
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just clearly specifically ask something that doesn't get done. It's like,
And
okay,
so
well,
part of that is just like it's both communication styles. It's like I think people feel uncomfortable having like an authoritative stance, especially with people who are their personal employees versus like at work, because there's not
mhm.
like a structure to that. But also it's like then if you weren't like pretty firm the first time, then you like feel awkward like being firm the next time. I think the best way to do it is just be like, hey, it's not working out with us. We're gonna find someone else. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for your time. You don't owe her anything. Like you owe her saying like, "Hey, we don't need you in the future. This is the last time.
Yeah.
Appreciate all your help." And then if she asks for feedback, be like, "We've just, you're not like cleaning to the level we expect." And if she wants a second chance, you'd be like, "No, we're okay.
Yeah.
Thank you."
Yeah, and just say she's like, what did I do well? Then if you wanna get to the laundry list, go for it, but I think you lead off with something broad. Say, "Hey, this is not working. The quality is kind of not where we're looking for. We're gonna go a different direction," kinda thing.
And at the end of the day, this is they're doing a job
Mhm.
that you're paying for. Same thing as like if somebody was mowing your lawn or fixing your garage door or whatever, you're paying for a service. So if they don't meet that, then you are within grounds to not use them again. And
Correct.
that's all you have to say.
Absolutely. You know who I have never fired?
I don't know.
Butcher Box.
Okay.
Yeah, because Butcher Box, premium, premium, premium quality meat doesn't have to come at a premium price. Butcher Box provides you with the best meat and seafood on the planet so you can whip up quality meals on your budget. Butcher Box, it's coming into grilling season, Sally. Not that it's
Mhm.
never not grilling season in Austin, Texas, but something
Correct.
about the summer, getting the grill going, a little sweat on your back,
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It's arriving. By the way, it's going to be 100 degrees next week. Not looking forward to it, but I am gonna hop out there with my butcher box and get some
Once the
get some
sun
steaks
goes
going.
down, you can grill and it won't be that hot.
Exactly. Exactly. Butcher Box makes it easy to find high quality meat and seafood that you can trust. 100% grass fed beef, free range organic chicken, pork raised crate free and wild caught seafood with no antibiotics or added hormones. It's delivered right to your doorstep in a frozen kind of like box situation with free shipping always. It's curated if you want it to be, it's customized. If you want it to be, you can go in and be like, I just want pork or I just want bacon, I whatever. Or you leave it up to them and say, I want your take on what kind of box I need.
Yeah.
And they'll put together something for you. It's got a wide variety of high quality cuts at an amazing value, exclusive member deals once you do subscribe. Plus, it includes recipe inspiration, guides, tips, and hacks. What's your favorite cut of meat currently, Sally?
I'm actually more of a seafood gal right now.
Okay, dive in.
And we have done some lobster tails with them, which has
Ooh,
been a treat.
very nice. Well, Butcher Box is giving you the chance to do lobster tails like Sally. Special deal here. Sign up today using code MAILIN to receive ground beef for a year plus $20 off your first order.
Wow, think of all the summer cookout burgers you could have with that.
Imagine that. You can make free burgers for a year.
Yeah.
What's better than
Or
that?
taco meat.
Or taco meat. Or like any,
Or like meatloaf.
the sausage or beef
Bolognese
casserole,
sauce.
bolognese, ragu, you name it. Here's the deal again. Sign up today using code MAILIN to receive ground beef for a year plus $20 off your first order. That's 2 pounds of ground beef free in every box for a year plus $20 off your first order. When you sign up at butcherbox.com/mailin and use code MAILIN. Want to do the next one, Sally?
Mm-hmm. All right. What's up, Mail-In fam? Got a sneaky little question for you about weddings, as per usual. So my girlfriend and I are invited to a wedding in a month of one of her friends. The wedding is on a Thursday, which is a weird move, but that's whatever. Most concerning to me is that my girlfriend hates the groom and would rather not see the two of them married. I have never met the groom and have only heard stories about him from my girlfriend and his fiance. Spoiler alert, they aren't exactly glowing reports. As well, the soon to be bride has, quote, called off the engagement twice in the past on social media, but is still going through with it. I didn't write this in just to gossip, but also to ask how I'm supposed to navigate this wedding for my own sake and sanity. Let me know what I can do to prepare for this. Thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
Oh boy.
Okay.
There's like the none of your business angle, right? Or there's the oh God angle.
Okay, a couple things here. Number one, I think it's well within. It sounds like you're pretty committed to going. Like, he doesn't sound like not going is an option. I'm just gonna say
Mhm.
this. I think it's okay to take a stance and not go
Okay.
with your girl. Like, both you and your girlfriend need to make the stance. You know what I'm saying?
Right. As a team,
As a
you
team.
can make the not going stance.
Right.
I mean, you're going to get into a relationship ruiner there potentially if you've already like said you're going and then don't go. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I to this in this situation, it's like you've never met the guy, so you don't really have a personal anecdote to go off of. But your girlfriend obviously hates him, and so
It
you kind
sounds
of have
like
to
the
be
fiance doesn't like him very
yeah
much either.
yeah. How do you called it off twice on social media, but then is still like
This is giving white trash. Only because
yeah.
I'm
I
I
mean,
I think when I read that, I was just thinking about this girl calling it off twice on Facebook instead of, like,
instead of
on
Instagram.
Instagram, which is, like, the ultimate,
Yeah.
like, just, like, small town move, like, "Fucking Gary cheated on me,
Yeah.
and we're done," and then they're not done.
Yeah, it's just
Okay, I say that. I think I read this, and maybe because I read it was on the Thursday, I just assumed it was, like, an out of town wedding.
mhm,
That's why I say I think you can take the stance and, like, not go.
yeah.
But that's if it's out of town. If it's, like, if it's feasible to go, you should probably go, whatever.
Yeah, I think I think you go
I
and
think you
I don't
leave it up
know,
to
you
the
just
girlfriend because it's really the girlfriend's whole prerogative about how she really feels about the groom. He has like
Mhm.
no real investment besides his own girlfriend.
Yeah, correct. That is his only attachment here outside of, like, the gossip portion of it is
Right.
his connection. His real investment is his girlfriend.
Right. And if
So
the
he
girlfriend is not into taking a stance or she's not going to confront the groom or whatever, then it's really not his prerogative to do
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
He just needs to go along. And here's the thing.
Be water, right? Just be whatever container you need to fit into.
Yeah,
Be water.
I think from a his perspective, this is gonna get annoying because he's gonna be at this like weekend long situation with his girlfriend who's gonna be bitching the whole time.
Correct.
And I think for being that person for me is difficult because I'm like, then freaking say something, like because I'm confrontational. So I'm like,
Mhm.
why are we here if you are so against it?
Yeah, are we just gonna fake it the whole time?
Right.
And then, like, I'm not gonna say anything because I
But
don't know them,
it
but
isn't, yeah, it's as the boyfriend, it's not your place.
right.
Um,
But if you say something, be like, "Yeah, what's up?"
I
I don't
think
know.
a frank conversation with your girlfriend before the wedding and being like, "Listen, I know you don't support Jessica and Gary
Mhm.
because you hate Gary because he cheated on Jessica and she put it on Facebook
Twice.
twice. But we're going to the wedding. We've made that choice. Either we
Mhm.
can not go and take a stand, or you can say something to Gary, or we're going to go and you could be upset about it, but we're not going to ruin our time.
Mhm.
We're going to attend the wedding. We're gonna like have some crab cakes and have some champagne, and we're gonna go home. We're not gonna let it ruin our lives.
Easy. Done.
Because at the end of the day, it's not their relationship.
Mhm.
It's not worth getting caught up in the drama.
And
As the boyfriend, the best thing he can do is just sit back and be silent while everyone else bitches around him.
exactly. Now, the like, if it's like $1,000 flight to
Then you can put
Cabo,
up a
and then
little bit
you're
more
like,
stink, I think.
"What are we doing here? This is not meant to be. Gary's gonna cheat again." Then
And
I'm
like
gonna say,
you
"I
don't even
told you
like him.
so."
Like,
You
why
don't
are
like
we
him. Why are we
supporting
going
him?
there? Why are we supporting this? But if it's like down the street, like you said, go grab a crab cake and some remoulade sauce and just like,
I think
is
I'm
that
saying
redundant?
this.
Remoulade sauce? It's a remoulade,
I
right?
don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they put sauce after it. I'm saying all this from the perspective of I have been in the boyfriend's position before,
Mm,
and because I am defensive and confrontational and I care about the people I love, I get involved
mhm.
and make a stink, and it's not my place, and that's come back to bite me in the ass. Because at the end of the day, it's not your friend, and
It's not your
even though
relationship,
you
yeah.
wanna protect the people that you love.
Mhm,
So by proxy, protecting, you want to protect your girlfriend who cares a lot about her friend.
mhm.
It's not about you. And I have unfortunately made it about me in the past. And that has not worked out so well for me only because it just created drama when there didn't need to be. And I could have just shut my mouth and attended
Mhm.
the
And just
event and just gone along and then just
went
lived
home.
my life.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that with love. Just shut your mouth and let it happen. And let
And
people, these are two consenting adults.
yep.
They know what they're getting into. The fiance knows. She's clearly called it off twice. If she's for sure going to go through with it, you're not going to change your mind.
Right.
Your girlfriend probably won't either. So the best thing to do is just let these adults make the decision that they need to make. And then when it inevitably, maybe it won't fail, but if it fails, you just again stand back and keep your mouth shut
Mhm. And that's just life.
because you're not intimately involved in the situation.
Correct. Boom. Be water. Let's do the next one.
Okay.
Hey, Brett and Sally. Male 29, have a question about feeling, quote, challenged at work. I get the feeling that you both are very career driven, or at least your accomplishments to date would suggest as much. So, hoping you can help me work through something here. Thank you. I work for a Fortune 100 company after getting my bachelor's in exactly what I wanted to study. My degree perfectly aligns with what I'm doing today. I enjoy what I do at its core. I like working with and get along, and get along with my teammates. My boss loves me, and I make much more than I need to be comfortable in the large city I live in. All in all, sounds like the perfect situation. But the only problem is that I don't feel challenged at all, which leads to long, boring days both at the office and especially when I work from home. My previous roles in this company and organization have been more challenging, but as I got promoted twice since graduating in 2016, no big deal, the work slowly tapered off. At first, I thought this was just the perks of management, less grunt work, and fewer technical things to do, but my teammates still seem to give the impression that they're absolutely drowning in work. I'm just not, and I can't understand why. I can't possibly be that much more efficient than them, and our responsibilities are too similar to have this large of a discrepancy in workload. It makes me worried that my role isn't even really needed, putting me at risk if layoffs were to occur. The longer I'm in this role, the more I can feel myself becoming apathetic and bored with my work, which is scary, given I always wanted to climb the corporate ladder and still very much value my career progression. Is this burnout? Doesn't really feel like it, but is it time for a career or company change? Advanced degree, perhaps? Is it wrong if I don't feel motivated to change anything and just keep collecting paychecks? Any insight would be super helpful and keep up the great work.
Okay, couple things. Number one, I think this is a type of burnout. I think it. I think we are so like he made a comment about his teammates drowning in work and he's not, and he's
Yeah.
concerned about that.
Hmm.
Our society like thrives off of making sure that like everyone is putting their entire life into work and has no work life balance
Right. If
and
you're like, if you're not drowning in work,
you're not
you're not
succeeding at your
succeeding,
job. And
which
that's
I
how
hate. Oh God, I hate that.
we benchmark people
Hmm.
of like success at work
Hmm.
is like, have you just been absolutely grinding? And maybe sometimes success is just being a I mean, look at CEOs. Like
Yeah.
they're just sitting there collecting bonus
Talking
checks.
on panels. I think if you truly are drowning at work, this is unrelated to the question. Well, kind of related. There's like a resource issue with your company. Like if
Right.
you Rachel goes through this, like drowning at work, and I know like she works kind of in a creative field
Right.
where like designers and software devs are always just there's unlimited work to do
Yeah.
because 90 million people need something now.
Right.
That's a resource issue. Like that shouldn't be celebrated as like I'm the hardest worker. I
Right.
could with the volume of your work, you shouldn't be doing that because it's gonna something's gonna suffer. But this guy is like, I'm basically either delegating
Mhm.
or kind of moving pieces around a chessboard because he's gotten up the ladder and he's like, what am I doing? Like I value. He almost valued his more tactical, um, sort of busy work or day by day, like doing stuff more than what he's doing now. And I get that.
Yeah.
Totally get that.
And it's hard to change that mindset when we that's been drilled into us for so long that like success comes with being busy.
Hmm.
Number 2, I think for me not being in the corporate world, I think it's this still exists in medicine, but you always think about who your mentors are at work,
Hmm.
okay? And like there are opportunities for me to quote climb the ladder at work if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's less of a like drive to because most of us are just quote worker bees. Like being in management in medicine is a lot different than like wanting to ascend to management in a corporate job
Yeah. Because the
because it
more
takes you further away from what your actual
the patient, right? Like, yeah.
exactly. And maybe that's the same here. It's like it's taking him away from doing whatever his core say it's engineering or
Hmm.
whatever. You know, he's doing less number
I
crunching. He's
think of a
doing
guy
more.
who is in finance and he's like loves modeling, like loves
Yeah.
getting in the Excel models and just ripping around in there, making models for people, modeling things for himself, and now he's basically telling people, "I need this modeled,"
Right.
and looking at the results and either being like, "Cool," or, "No, try it again."
So I think my always advice is find the person that is above you that you trust, that was maybe a mentor when you came in, or your old boss, or your current boss, or maybe they're on a different team than you, that you can kind of bounce some ideas off of and just be like, "Hey, I'm just feeling like pretty blah about
Mhm.
everything right now. Like, I want to be
Apathetic,
more involved.
unmotivated,
I'm
yeah.
unmotivated and I like this organization. I've worked here since 2016. Like, I've been here for what, 7 years, and I care about the company, but I just feel like
Mhm.
I'm not doing anything."
Totally. I think
Because at least that person has some sort of perspective as to what you actually do and how the company works.
mhm. Yeah, and I would say that's 100% the first thing I do, either find somebody equal, like, rank-wise or above you who's
Uh-huh.
been there longer than you and that you trust. That's not gonna go to your boss or whatever
And
and
be like,
be like, "Hey, this dude, doesn't really care about working here."
yeah,
Um, find somebody that you can get a coffee with and just kinda lay it out
right,
at your company because then they can sort of give you, "Well, here's the path." Like, that's kind of the one thing here where if there's no path, if you're just kind of in your like you've locked in 2 levels of promotion and you're just kind of there, what's next? Do you have some sort of North Star? You can, it's so businessy, but like, do you have something that you're striving towards?
right,
And if it's just the latter, like you're just trying to make partner or VP or whatever, like, is that a North Star or is that just like something you tell yourself
right.
to continue to just get through these slodge of days? Um, 2, I'd say you asked about an advanced degree. I hesitate to say go to grad school and spend a bunch of money if you're just doing it to be busy. Does
Mhm.
that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
don't go get an MBA because you want to be busy. Do it because you want the career
the
path
skills
and
and
the
yeah,
network and that kind of stuff, but don't do it because 'cause you're bored.
right,
Like, I think that's a a very expensive misuse of time.
right.
And maybe some people would disagree and just say, "Well, it's gonna be good for whatever." But, like, you have to want to do that. You have to want to go to grad school in some specific field or law school or whatever. But don't do it because 'cause you're bored, unless you wanna do, like, an online kinda just whatever it may be. But I don't know. And then the third thing I would say is this is radical change, right? Uh, if you've climbed to this spot in your organization and you don't feel motivation, you don't feel like you're not part of the integral path and plans moving forward, or you've kind of been able to delegate yourself out to where you are with an increase in pay and an increase in strategic responsibility, but less technical responsibility, then maybe you do look at a company change because it's a perfect time to look, basically. If
Yeah.
you know what you want to do, you love what you do, is it time to go from a Fortune 100 company, your resume is gonna look awesome. You've climbed multiple levels in, was it 7 years at a Fortune 100 company?
Mhm.
You're gonna look good on paper. So maybe now is the perfect time to sort of get your personal Gmail out and feel around what you wanna do. And maybe you hunt for a job that's way above your responsibility grade or whatever, you know what it might be, but I don't know. I just think if you're stuck or if you've ascended to this, like, point of you're kind of exponentially flattening out and you don't really know what the path is, you're apathetic, you're bored, is that not a perfect time to sort of shoot for the stars at a company that's different?
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it's perfectly acceptable to, like, also take 6 months and collect a paycheck and travel and do whatever the hell you
Of
want.
course, yeah. There's nothing wrong with security like that.
But someone once told me that, like, we're living in a generation now where this is the first time that we it's not feasible to think that someone will keep the same career path for their entire life
Oh,
at this
it's
point.
like crazy to think that
Because
people
we
did it for
live
40
longer
years. Mhm.
and we retire later. And so if you think you're going to keep the same career at the same, I mean, obviously there are lifers who do something like that, but
Mhm.
at the same company for 40 years, that's insane. Most people's like, you would expect every person to like have at least one, if not two career changes by the time they retire. Because if you think about working age, say you start when you're 22 and you retire when you're, I mean, 65 is a
Yeah.
very conservative. I think most people are retiring later than that
Mhm.
now. Like, let's say 72. So you're in the workforce for 50 years.
Yeah.
Staying in one career for 50 years is insane. Like, of course you're going to hit these peaks and valleys of like, I'm really loving what I'm doing, and then I'm like, this is so boring. I hate it here. So, yes, there are people around you who are like staying in the same company, who've risen the ranks, who will always be there. It's the same thing in medicine where you have the same people who've been at the same
Mhm.
group who've been an ICU nurse for 40 years, and they make you feel bad because you're like, I should be just putting my head down doing the same thing, just gotta keep working like a little ant, going to the ant hill every day. That's all I'm doing. That's not that doesn't make sense for humans. Like, we change, we adapt. So to maybe even think like, for me, an advanced degree, if you're like, damn, I just straight up might want to change careers. That's okay too.
Mhm.
So take the time, collect a paycheck, travel, talk to your mentor, think about what you want to do. Don't don't do what some of our friends did. I agree. Like, just go to grad school because you can and you have the funds to do it and you think that that might
Mhm.
change your opinion. If you kind of bop around and you're like, actually, I would really like to get into XYZ, and then you want to go to like some sort of grad school, trade school, etcetera, to like get those skills, do that. If there is an opportunity for you to go to grad school and then, further your work opportunities, great. But don't just do it because you're bored and you have the time.
Exactly.
But I also think don't be afraid to change companies, change full careers, cities, etc., because you got your one degree 7 years ago that you spent 4 years doing when you were 18, and you were like, okay, well, now I'm locked into this for the next 5 decades.
Right.
That most
Totally.
people are never going to do that.
The assembly line, like, turn the same wrench on the same screw for 40 years that's gone. Like, the people just you're not meant to do that. Like, you're not
Right.
meant to be a cog in a machine. You like, the last generation of honestly, like, computing and the internet has encouraged this ambitious, if not, like, puddle hopping way of career advancement, right? No longer is 10 years valued the way it was 10 years ago. Like, it's different now. It's
Yeah, and
totally different.
I think it's also helpful. It's always helpful to know that other people are going through this because of what I said. It's like, because no one's really meant to be in a one career path their entire life.
Mhm.
Just know that there are plenty of people who are out there who are probably, I'm gonna guess he's like what,
He said
29,
29. Yeah.
uh
So it's
that are right there
quarter
where
life
you are.
crisis kinda thing.
Like,
Third life crisis.
same thing. They're either like, they're totally burnt out because they're doing way too much work and they're like, why the hell am I doing this to myself? Or they're like, I don't know why I chose this field. I actually want to be a doctor.
Mhm.
Or they're like, I hate my boss. Like, everyone has one of these moments probably every few years, but like definitely a big life-changing moment probably once or twice in their life.
Absolutely. Everybody has things.
So meditate on it, talk to some people,
I was gonna
get a feel.
say, if I had to, like, the David Goggins of this, like, if I had to be like, "Do these 5 things," I think one of them like, is it weird to say write your perfect job description? Like, in your ideal world, regardless of company,
Right.
even regardless of field, what do you love to do? that you want to make money from? Is it like,
But you might not know. That's the thing. It's
sure,
like, try to discover that.
but to discover, maybe you start somewhere and you say, like, I want to paint and sell paintings. He may be a financial analyst, but he's like,
Mhm.
nope, I want to paint and sell paint. Like, you can build some sort of ideal job or ideal occupation or ideal career and then move forward on it. Like, does your ideal career involve helping patients?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I changed my path in
Mhm.
college.
Yeah.
And I'm I don't know. That's currently,
Yeah.
but I've also changed technically my career
Mhm.
4 years ago. So,
Right.
I mean, within the same field, but like not the same role.
Yeah.
So, I think this guy, I think we gave him a lot to think about.
We did. That's a
You've got a
hefty
lot.
answer to that question.
At least you're not for me, I think this is a better position to be in than be the person who is probably below you doing a shit ton of grunt work who's like, how the hell do I get out of this? I think this is a better situation to be like,
Mhm.
okay,
It's time for a lot
I'm
of
gonna
thinking.
like travel to Bali and think about what I want, eat, pray, love style.
You could go to, like, San Antonio and do the same thing, but Bali, yeah, if you wanna go to Bali, go to Bali. You know what you could do in the meantime?
Make your apartment look like it's Bali.
Yeah, you could become a plant dad. Just care about something other than
You
work.
know who we need for this ad read?
Randy.
Randy, the plant dad.
He started with
All
a
of his plants
fast-growing
from growing trees.
fast-growing trees. He started with, like, 1 credit, and he has turned into
I think he's their biggest customer.
an addicted plant dad. Randy, his apartment looks like Bali. You're absolutely right, because he
That's a
went to
freaking oasis. Lush.
fastgrowingtrees.com and got started. Here's what you need to do. Breathe some life into your own backyard or your patio or your apartment or your house with fastgrowingtrees.com this spring. From shade to fresh fruit to privacy and natural beauty, let fastgrowingtrees.com help you plant your dream garden with their expert advice and fast, reliable shipping. FastGrowingTree.com plant experts curate thousands of easy to grow plant, shrub, and tree varieties for your unique climate. Meyer lemons to evergreens and everything in between. Happy plants, happy home, right? But sometimes it's hard to know which plants will do best in your specific situation. No problem. Because with fastgrowingtrees.com, you get customized recommendations based on your specific needs. Plus, their plant experts are always available to help keep your plants growing healthy through the season and beyond, and no more waiting in long lines and hauling heavy plants around. With fastgrowingtrees.com, you order online and your plants arrive at your doorstep in just a few days. Um, got a lime plant because I want to just put fresh limes in my margs.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Producing limes.
Not yet. We're getting close, but
Yeah.
it's that's my plan anyway. From fastgrowingtrees.com.
Love it.
Fast Growing Trees also has a 30-day alive and thrive guarantee. You know everything will look great fresh out of the box. So here's the deal. Join over 1.5 million happy Fast Growing Trees customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/mail-in now to get 15% off your entire order. Again, get 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/mail-in. Sally.
I got the next one.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Brett and Sally. How do I get over being aggressively ghosted? We were in the quote, can't be together because of long distance phase for about 5 months. We're a 34-hour drive apart. Okay. Can we clarify? 3 to
34
4 hour, maybe?
34 hours drive? That is,
Are you like on opposite ends of the coast?
I mean, let's see. Austin to Saratoga is 27. So like
Are you San Francisco to Charlotte? Like,
let's see. Denver to New York. That is obviously it takes a while. That's 26.
Okay,
So I mean, call
okay.
it like Vegas to
Okay.
New York.
No, I think this is 3 to 4 hour drive.
Okay.
If it's 34 hours,
Then-
you got to start collecting some airline miles and taking flights. I'm sorry to derail the question, but like, If
it's
you were
gotta be.
driving 34 hours each way, we have an issue.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Let's say
that's a
three to
full
four.
fucking week.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
I'm
That
sorry.
makes sense.
Let me restart the question. We were in the quote, can't be together because of long distance phase for about 5 months. We're a 3 to 4 hour drive apart, but we had plans to go on a trip together. So we're thinking Austin to Dallas situation.
Yeah.
4 days before said trip, I woke up and he was gone. I was blocked on Snapchat, Instagram, and he never responded to my text, calls, FaceTimes. I know I should say fuck this guy and move on, but for some reason I can't. I'm a diehard Sal Gal and OMB fan, so any and all advice is much appreciated. Love you guys. Thanks in advance. Heart.
Heart.
Okay.
What a fucking shitty move.
This guy's a shitty dude. The most solace that you can have. This is all about ego. Getting ghosted is solely about ego. It has nothing to do. I mean, yes, it has to do with the fact of like, wow, really liked you. You know,
Mhm.
we had these things in common. Could have seen us going somewhere. That all gets tossed out the window. If you see them as a potential partner, that gets tossed out the window the second they ghost you. Because in an aggressive ghosting manner, such as this,
Mhm.
that person has completely rendered themselves unreliable ever. So
Right.
any thought of them becoming a potential partner or husband or father to your kids or whatever is out the window because they just proved that they cannot be there
Mhm.
even for a freaking trip. Okay. I had this happen to a girl that I went to school with.
Oof.
They were going to move in together.
Oh no.
They were moving in together.
Oh no.
And they signed the lease and he straight up just did not show up on moving day.
No, what?
Never to be heard from again. Till 3 months later.
And they lived in the same city, or were they moving to a city? Like, what?
They were moving into an apartment together.
Oh my god. Did she move in?
No, she ended up canceling the lease because she couldn't afford it by herself.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, yeah, that sucks because you miss the person, but you have to don't put them on a pedestal. I don't care if the sex was great. I don't care if they had great text banner. I don't care if they wowed the shit out of your mom. They are dead to you immediately the second that they ghost you like that because that person does not deserve a single second of your time anymore. They have proved that, but they've proved that they are completely unreliable. Whatever. The getting over part for me
Mhm.
is the ego part. It's the why the hell did I get ghosted? That's the internal monologue of what is it about me that he didn't want to go on this trip?
Right.
And you also have to let that go. You got to let your ego go because it's not about you. This is totally a him problem.
Mhm.
When people ghost, whether it's one date, you had this amazing date, then they're never to be heard from again, or just full on you're in a relationship and about to move in together and then he just disappears off the face of the earth. That's them. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
If it had to do with you, then you would have had a freaking conversation about it or a fight or some sort of anything
Yeah. It's
that
just
didn't involve you getting blocked on every form of social
that's so
media and
weird. What a
them
weird.
totally giving up. So those are my 2 points. It's you do not want to be with that person anyway. In
Right.
any capacity, even if they come crawling back, I'm so sorry. I got abducted by the cartel.
Good excuse though. I mean.
Don't care. Don't care. Show me the news story about you getting abducted. Cause
Mhm.
I don't believe you. You're out of my life. You broke my trust completely. Number one. Number two, it is not about you. And it's so hard to not take that personally.
Right.
It's so hard to not take ghosting personally because you're like, what? All you do is internal questions of what's wrong with me? Should I have acted better on the date? Should I be a better texter? Should I have played hard to get a little bit more? Should I have not had sex on the first date? Should I have been flirtier? All of those things that go through your head when you get ghosted on any level, it is not about you. It is about them. Let that person continue to be shitty.
And get over somebody by
And in the words of Tinks,
Uh-huh.
they either come back or their life gets shittier.
Mhm.
It's the universal truth. So if and when he comes back, go ahead and shut that down.
Yep.
Or just you can't watch anything on social media because he blocked you on all forms. But his life will get worse because people who operate like this are not normal human beings. They can't function in society. Like you
Preach.
can't you can't do this to someone and expect to have like karma be good for you. But
Mhm.
the best thing to do is to realize those two things, and also do not get one of your friends to like show you what he's up to on social media. Who cares? Who cares? He's
He's not
done.
he's done, right, he's done. There's, like, freedom in that.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Hold a
He's gone.
funeral, move on.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Another tinksism.
Calm as a cat.
But seriously, like it took I spent a lot of my 20s thinking this about people either
Mhm.
being ghosted or things fizzling out and wondering what was wrong with me. Nothing was wrong with you. I
It's
mean, there
them.
are
Yeah.
times when it is you,
Yeah, you could contribute,
but like you would know. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Like,
Or maybe you wouldn't because you're the problem. But like I'm saying, if someone just ghosts you, like that's their issue.
Yeah.
That's their problem.
I just think I just can't get over how shitty of a move, like, to have a trip booked and 4 days before he's gone, like, that is incredibly shitty because like, it's one thing to have emotional feelings involved, which is shitty. It's also financial at that point.
Right.
So, like, that's really shitty.
Someone who's willing to leave you high and dry like that does not give a shit about you or other people.
Yeah. Like, how does that
That's
even
so
work legit? Like,
selfish.
were your flights canceled? Like, whose card were
And
they booked on?
you don't want that person in their life. What if God forbid, like you were in an accident and they were with you? Do you think are you relying on that person to be the one to call 911? No.
And then a 34-hour drive away.
They're a 34-hour drive away and you picked up a hitchhiker and you call them, you're like, I'm gonna get murdered. Do you think that they're gonna be the ones to call the police when they can't even show up to a trip
Mhm.
to a tropical location with pina coladas? No. You
That sounds
get them
so
out of
good.
here.
Like a little rum floater. Pina colada.
I think this is one of those you got to move on with time. You got to get indignant and pissed
Mhm.
and like know that you're better. But of course you can't get over it because that's just
No,
so
it's
obscene.
it's
Like
time and then meeting somebody else, like somebody
right.
else to not put on a pedestal, but somebody to like I have a crush on. That's the best way to
And
get over something.
don't let this sour your taste in other relationships just because one person has a, a fucked up mind and can't handle, any sort of relationship.
Don't let it yuck your yum, as the
Yeah.
kids say. Let's do this next one quick, Sally. This is a question for Sally. As the parent of a toddler, how do you manage to keep your home tidy and not overrun with kid stuff? Any tips on apartment living with a toddler?
Oh man. Okay. This is pretty quick and easy. Number one, we also have a nanny who helps with
Mhm.
this. So that is very helpful. And also Will is incredibly tidy. So every night
Let's go,
before
Will.
we go to bed, we like tidy up all of his toys, whether it's
Mhm.
in his room or our living room. So we will do like in both rooms, in his room and in our living room, we have a big basket. It's not worth trying to organize their toys. Just literally throw them into like a toy chest or a basket because they're gonna also get them out. We try to keep certain things together. Like he's got this like little Connect Four game.
Mhm.
Uh if you're a toddler parent, you probably know what Love Every is, which is like a subscription toy Montessori box thing.
Mhm.
Everyone has the same colorful wooden toys. And
'Kay.
some of them come with parts. So we try to keep those in the same vicinity, but like I am literally shoving like balls, cars, whatever into a toy chest. I'm like, you'll figure it out tomorrow.
Mhm.
Tidy up when you have time. So either like Will likes to do it in the morning before our nanny gets there,
'Kay.
keep it tidy for her, or at night. Part of our like nighttime routine with him is like we sing the cleanup song and he cleans up.
Oh, I like that. Tying it to like
Yeah.
a
Because he knows now
cleanup
how to
scene.
clean up. So he goes and like puts his like
Okay.
whenever he goes and takes a bath, he like puts his laundry in his little hamper. He's like
Mm.
he loves to throw things away. So like make that into a little ritual. And then the other thing is, and this takes a little bit more forethought, is like clean out every like, make it a monthly thing and our nanny helps us with this a lot of the as you as they age, you get more shit, whether it's clothes or toys.
'Kay.
So make a concerted effort at least monthly to like clean out their stuff and either put it away in storage for the next kid or to donate it. So we do that with his clothes because he grows through clothes like crazy. So we, especially when I like buy new clothes, like we just did a big haul of summer clothes from like Zara and Gap. We got rid of all the stuff that doesn't fit and put it in like a Tupperware container, not a Tupperware, but you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, like a big
Yeah, like a big yes.
whatever thing into the closet for
Mhm.
future kids or to give to somebody else.
Right.
Um, or donate it or give
Mhm.
it to a like we get a lot of clothes from my friend at work who's
Mhm.
done having kids and her youngest son is like a year older than Fritz. She's like, "Can I give you this stuff?" We're
Boom.
like, "Love it. Give me free stuff all the time."
Mhm.
That takes more effort, but it really if there's 2 of you doing it, like have a babysitter come over, make it like, entertain your kid or take him to the park or whatever, and both of you just go into the room and, like, go through the drawers, go through the toys, move shit out of the way.
Yeah.
We try to do that, especially before either he gets more clothes or, like, a birthday or something like that where you're gonna get more toys so you don't have just shit everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say that I obviously don't have children, also famously haven't planned a wedding.
Yeah,
Been told
famously.
multiple times on that front that I'm wrong and naive, and I get that. Um, but I was gonna say, like, make it like, set one time. Like, if
Yeah,
like, 7:52 PM every night is, like, the, "Alright, tidy up."
yeah,
Boom. After dinner, after he goes to bed, or with him, which I kinda like the
yeah.
idea, like, "Hey,
I mean,
Fritz."
we do both. He
Yeah.
cleans his room while we, like, help him,
Nice.
and then
Yeah.
we clean the living room
I
when
like
he's
that.
done. We live in a condo, so, there's only a couple rooms that
Yeah.
we do have a situation, we have, quote, "the front room" that we
I've
it's
heard about the front room.
becomes our, like, de facto storage space box collecting area where again we like every couple weeks we're like okay we gotta clean the
Mhm.
front room out you just gotta it's so much less time if both of you are just commit to it instead of one person being like it's your turn just both of you it takes definitely less than an hour if you both just do it
There's something this is like a Brettism. There's something about, like, chore inertia that I can go from couch, I'm just like, I don't want to, but the moment you, like, get up and take that
you
first
start like
step,
nesting you just
I go into nest mode.
yeah
The kitchen's clean, the laundry's done,
yeah
put away, folded, the bathroom's clean. Once you like, object in motion stays in motion with me,
yeah
and I feel like that happens with boxes. Once you get that fucking box cutter going, you're just like, "Alright, give me all the boxes. I
yeah
want my neighbor's boxes. Like, let's
the
go."
last tip I have is there's very little room for sentiment when you have a kid. And I
Okay.
say that from like a perspective of like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but sometimes you just have to throw shit away.
Yeah, I get
If
that.
Rosie, our dog, like bites the leg off of some toy, like just throw
It's
it
gone.
away.
It's gone. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, unless it's like their favorite toy. Fritz has this big cow figurine he's super obsessed with right now,
Okay.
and she ate the legs and one of the head off of it, or
Oh,
one of
no.
not the head, the one of the ears off of it, but we still have to keep it around because he's, like, very obsessed with it.
Oh, wow.
But, like, he comes home with artwork and, like, no offense, he's, like, 2, so it's, like, it's not really anything. It's, like,
Yeah.
this is a snowman, it's, like, a white streak of paint on a black paper.
Yeah.
Uh, I threw that away.
Yeah.
Because okay, at the end of the day, like, I don't have any of my childhood artwork. Actually, Will's parents sent him a lot of his childhood artwork, and
Oh,
then we get
really?
it, and I'm
Well,
like
Will's kinda like an artist, so
well, he is, but I'm like, "Why do okay,
yeah,
why are you gonna frame unless we're not gonna frame it, like,
right.
it's going in the trash." One thing that somebody does that I think is, like, a good idea to do is, like, at every school year, get one of those, like, accordion folders and just put their artwork in it and
Sure.
keep it somewhere so that you're not, like, shoving stuff on the fridge,
Yeah.
and then you can go through it at the end of the school year, be like, "This was cute, we should, like, put this like, frame this for his room or make it put it in a scrapbook or whatever," and then if you're not going to, take that shit out and toss it. Like, Fritz, no offense, is not an artist right now, he barely knows how to color, like, half the time it's on our, counters, so I don't feel bad.
24 hours of fridge time. Then it's see ya.
Yeah, like we do have a pumpkin on our fridge that has his picture in it
Yeah. Yeah, that's different. That's just
that
a,
has
yeah.
been there since obviously October. But I'm like, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's like a handprint.
Oh, good job, buddy.
We also like we're really bad about like taking like monthly photos of him and like
Putting him on the blanket with a little month.
yeah,
Like,
like I mean we did it, but they were always like weeks late. So
yeah.
I'm probably not the person to ask. Like one of my friends is like a huge scrapbooker. She like scrapbooks everything.
Okay.
I'm just like, one day I'll show you the pictures from the cloud of like what you looked like when you were
Boom. Good to go.
on June 7th.
And it'll probably be like, okay, whatever, mom. I'm gonna go play. Like,
Yeah.
See ya. You're like, oh, great.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know who is great? Our friends over at AG1. AG1 is, I guess the best way to put it is it's something that I wanted to bolster my health routine with. AG1, you're wondering like, what is it? Well, it's one scoop of a little green powder that you may be familiar with on this podcast. But one scoop gives you 75 high quality vitamins, probiotics, and whole food sourced ingredients. It's great for you. It's a way to start your day off on a healthy note. And that's why I started taking it. I continue to take it because it's awesome and it makes me feel better. I've tried a ton of different supplements before, but I love that AG1 is one solution to support whole body health. I've noticed that I have better energy, improved digestion, little mental clarity, and better sleep. You name it. It's a great bang for my buck as well as it replaces a lot of other supplements like a daily multivitamin, minerals, pre and probiotics for gut health, adaptogens, and a greens blend, literally all in one scoop of powder. So, what do? Take one scoop, put it in a glass of water, down the hatch, out the door. It's a routine that you can continue to just stick to. And that's why I like it. So, here's the deal. If you're looking for a simpler, effective investment for your health, try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs plus a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/mailin. That is drinkag1.com/mailin. Check it out. Sally, you have a shower thought.
I do.
Hit us.
What's your least favorite artificial flavor?
Ooh, my least favorite artificial flavor. I'm going to go with cherry.
Okay.
Like any like medicine, any candy, something like that. Cherry just does not vibe with me.
Do you feel like that there are any artificial flavors that actually taste like the flavor of the thing themselves?
I think you can get pretty close with like orange and citrus.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
citrus is the one
That's a
kind of
good
you
point,
can you
yeah.
can get close to. Very rarely though are you getting anywhere near the taste. There's like the kid taste, like, oh, that's like a
What about
watermelon,
like
but
what's your favorite? Like grape?
I think grape is
Grape
usually
is up
pretty
there, but grape
consistent.
does not taste like grapes at all.
No, grape, the flavor that you think of is just like a made up flavor, right? Like
Mhm.
that doesn't it, I mean, vaguely, I guess, but like
I
Great Big
was
League
once
Chew is so
told
good.
that the artificial banana flavor actually did used to taste like bananas,
Okay.
but that type of banana is now extinct.
D- the story of bananas is crazy.
That like that form of banana is not like
Hmm.
that species of banana. This was all to say, because I was thinking about this last night. A girl I know started a company called Cinny, SINNY.
Hmm.
It's like little packs of cinnamon
Mm,
that you can just
okay.
take to go, which I personally love cinnamon the spice. Like I always put it in coffee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I put it on like literally put it on some toast this morning with almond butter and a banana. Like
Wow.
I put cinnamon all over everything.
Okay.
So shouts to Cinny. You can go to Try Cinny. That's just free pub.
No, it's
But
fine.
I was thinking about this because I truly love cinnamon. I put cinnamon on like savory dishes sometimes.
Wow.
Have you ever done like a little sweet potato hash where you like you or you seasoned the sweet potatoes with like some salt, pepper, cinnamon, but then you like mixed it in with like maybe some Brussels sprouts. It's like a real fall feeling dish.
Interesting.
It's
Yeah.
delightful.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I love cinnamon. I despise cinnamon flavored candy and stuff like that. Like hate
Okay.
Red Hots. Is that cinnamon flavored?
Yeah. Well, I feel like cinnamon gets like a rap as a spice, like a spicy hot, like
Right.
Red Hot, Altoids.
Like,
Like
I don't
that's
like cinnamon flavored gum. I don't like don't get me started on like Fireball or Goldschlager or something like that. Ugh,
it's like
ugh,
cinnamon whiskey and stuff.
disgusting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
like cinnamon in my coffee, like all day, every day. There's probably actually at the bottom of this coffee like a full like layer of like sludge of me just like pouring cinnamon in.
Sludge.
Actually, pro tip: if you like cinnamon, and you go to somewhere like Starbucks or somewhere that's like steaming your milk, you can ask them to steam cinnamon in with the milk.
Oh wow.
So just be like, I want cinnamon steamed in with the milk.
Hell yeah.
Because they'll just pour it in and then they'll like froth it and steam it.
That sounds fantastic.
And it actually mixes a lot better in like a latte than you just like dumping
cinnamon on top, and you get like one sip of the.
But also
extremely cinnamon.
sometimes you want the cinnamon on top because like taking that sip and then it
Oh,
has
yeah,
the
you get
cinnamon on the foam.
It's like a scent experience along with the taste. Okay.
But I like thinking about what are those little red candies that are like this big? They're not Red Hots. What are they called? They were like little, almost like tiles. I can't think of the name of
Dots
them.
or
No, they're not dots. Hold on, I'll think of it. But
Okay.
I like hated those as a kid. Hated when
Yeah.
people offer you gum and they're like, it's cinnamon flavor. I'm like, what kind of psychopath are you?
Mhm.
Do mint like the rest of us.
Right. That's I'm a peppermint, a winter mint,
Love a spearmint.
spearmint, right? Cinnamon gum. You're right. It doesn't do it for me. Do love the spice, like allspice, cinnamon, clove, the fall baking spices, if you will.
Red Hots is what I was thinking.
Yeah, Red Hots. Okay.
Did I say they weren't Red Hots? I was thinking of hot tamales are the bigger ones.
Oh, yeah.
Red Hots are
Yeah.
the smaller ones.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah,
I think we're
that's
on the
right.
same page there. All right. Now I know something about you that I didn't do or didn't know before.
Yeah. Ugh. Red Hot's disgusting.
That's gonna do it for us today, Sally.
You don't have a shower thought?
I have a pet peeve that maybe we can discuss next time. It's very
Okay.
quick, or I'll just say it now. I hate when this is my number one pet peeve currently, beyond all measure. When you are perhaps looking for a parking spot, Austin, Texas, a lot of establishments we go to, parking can be tough, if
Okay.
not downright impossible. When somebody gets into their car and perhaps you see them getting into their car, you're like, oh, sick,
I'm about to.
about to get a spot.
Yeah.
And they dilly-dally. They sit there doing God knows what
Yeah.
in their car, running, sometimes even with like the reverse lights on. And you're sitting there. Clearly, there's people trying to park.
Yeah.
Terry Black's is a perfect example. Matt's is a good example. The fury that runs through my veins when somebody sits there for 60 plus seconds is something I've never experienced before, ever.
I am so cognizant of that. This happened to me the other day at Costco, and I was like loading stuff in my cart, and somebody was like clearly waiting for me to move. But I like the second I put the cart up, I like sprinted to my front door, turned on my car, backed up. Like, I mean, it was like a whole maybe 15 seconds that I was out of
Sally,
that spot.
be the change you wish to see in the world. From ignition to backup is like a second and a half for me.
Yeah.
Like car's on, reverse is engaged, and I'm moving because I want to be
Except for
that
like
guy.
look out though, because like I have actually plowed into somebody that way, trying to be quick
Oh, I
about
get
it.
the little backup. If there's
This was before my backup camera,
yeah.
but I legitimately just plowed right into a BMW
Just
one time. That was
today-
an expensive mistake.
Oh yikes!
Yeah, not
If
great.
you are listening to this on this Thursday, this lovely, beautiful Thursday, catch yourself. If you're pulling out of a parking spot, catch yourself. Just be like, oh, I dilly-dally. I scroll Instagram. I check Twitter.
Yeah.
I put my kids in their car seats and then just sit there. Just catch yourself. Be the
Just be
change you
better.
wish to see. Just maybe for every one person we can we can MLM this. Convince one of your friends to be a faster, or at least not fast, because you got to look out for people going behind you, but a more efficient puller outer.
Okay. A puller outer.
A
Yeah.
puller outer.
Okay.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, and tell a friend about the show. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That is 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. And Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram and Twitter.
I am Brett Merriman at Merriman on both those platforms. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.